Hey everybody, welcome back. It's that time of year again, and I'm getting orders for Adirondack furniture, specifically chairs at the moment. And that usually happens around the springtime when everybody's getting out and about and getting their yards ready for the year. So today I'm going to show you all the different steps I take to create an Adirondack chair from a pile of lumber. I'm going to show you what materials you're going to need, what tools you'll need. I'll go through each step of the process and even show you the jigs that I've created to assist myself in making these chairs more efficiently. So if that sounds like something you get some value out of, I invite you to stick around. And all that said, let's get right into it. All right, so I want to start off with a disclaimer. I am not using my own design today. The chairs I've always built actually come out of a Woodsmith magazine from back in the day. I have a digital copy of all the old previous issues that gives me access to all their old plans. That said, if you want to build this exact chair, you're welcome to go find their Woodsmith magazine and get the plans. But with that out of the way, you're going to need a few things to start this project. The tools you're going to need are a drill, an impact driver, a table saw, a miter saw or circular saw, a router, a roundover router bit, a spiral flush trim bit, a pattern bit, or a CNC with a downcut bit. The materials you will need for a single chair are 1 1x8 by 8, 4 1x6 by 8, 1 1/4 inch treated screws, and 3-inch treated screws, and water resistant glue if you choose to glue all of your joints. Lastly, we're going to use somewhere around 3,472 jigs to assemble these chairs. And while you can assemble these chairs without jigs, and I did for a few chairs early on, if you're going to build more than 1 or 2 chairs and you decide you're going to build chairs for other people and you want to be able to repeat the steps quicker, jigs are the way to go for sure. So with all that out of the way, let's get to rough cutting our lumber. All right, next we're going to move on to the legs and arms. Now this process is going to be different depending on what tools you have available to you. I did purchase a CNC last year, so I'm going to make use of that to make the arms and legs just because it's quicker than I am, it's more accurate than I am, it's more repeatable than I am. But all that said, the first couple of years I was doing this, I made use of a template. So I made 1 plywood template leg, 1 plywood template arm that was the exact dimensions that I needed it to be, and then you can just use those templates to get exact copies of those each time as well. Those methods do work just as good if you've got your process down, but in my experience, I've had some shifting of the template or something, so I do prefer the CNC for this, but no matter what tools you have available to you, as long as you have a router, you can make this whole leg and arm assembly. So anybody that's wondering, this is a Onefinity Elite Foreman by Onefinity. So if you want to check that out, you can go to the Onefinity CNC website to check that out. But let's get going on this. All right, that's all done. We got all that made on the CNC. I wanted to stop and show you the templates that I used to use and that may still come in handy in the future. This is the one for the leg, and this is the one that I use for the arm. Now, these do work very well, and I did actually create some holes in here, because if you put them in the right spot, they line up with holes you need already, so you can actually screw your template down to the board that you're routing out, and that will make a sturdier bond so that your template doesn't move while you're routing out the edge. I just prefer to do this on the CNC for one main reason, and it's time. Now we can start sanding and doing a few roundovers, and then we can get moving on assembly. All right, so now we're ready for the fun part. We can start putting everything together, and honestly, this should go pretty quickly with all the jigs I've made, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Jig number 1 is a layout assembly helper jig, I guess. We clamp this to the front of the leg and allows us to position our side leg, the one that goes to the rear of the chair, perfectly without having to measure anything. Next, we're going to put on the front stretcher, and we're going to do that just by clamping that on and then pre-drilling and screwing it in. Now you'll see jig number 2 on the left there clamped onto the side of the leg. That is a layout jig used to position the support for the back slats, the lower support, and it is also used as a layout jig to get your hole positioning for pre-drilling to screw that together. There you have it, Adirondack chair. So I'll catch you on the next one. Actually, obviously this isn't done yet. Next, we're going to put the back splats. We're going to put the back slats on, and I've got another jig to do that, so let me show that to you. All right, this is what we're working with. Show me what you're working with. I built this probably the year after I started making Adirondack chairs, and it's a fairly simple setup here. I've just got a piece of 3/4 inch 1x6 here on the back, to which I put pieces of 1x along with 1/4 inch spacers between each of those. So what I've effectively done is created a slot for every one of my back slats to slide into, and all I got to do is clamp this to the back of my chair, and then I can lay all my back slats in there, screw one, and then just line the top up, screw one at the top, and then everything will be lined up without trying to like move everything back and forth, trying to figure out how to, I guess, get it attached. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Now I am using that same jig up at the top to keep everything lined up, and now this is jig number 4. This is another alignment jig. This is going to help me get the center back support lined up where it needs to be. There's one for each side. This back support has an angle of 25 degrees cut on it so that it will remain flat once you attach it, but that makes clamping it rather difficult, so I've cut another piece with a 25 degree angle on it so that I can clamp straight against it instead of trying to clamp at an angle, which is almost impossible to do. All right, now we're going to put the back brace on, the upper back brace, and that's so that we can get all these boards to straighten out here. We'll need them straight for when we use our next jig to make the round shape that the top of this chair has. So let's get that done. Don't look at my D. All right, next we have this little jig, and we're going to use that to make the top of the chair a little curvy, just like we like our women. So let's give it a try. All right, we got to pivot just a little bit. Normally I would use that template that I showed you and a spiral bit with a top bearing on my router to trace that template and cut the top of the chair to its round shape. My spiral bit, however, is dull. And in the interest of getting these chairs done, I'm going to abandon that for now, and we're just going to trace the template on with a pencil, and then we're going to use the jigsaw to cut that out. And that honestly is perfectly fine to do that. You'll get just as good of a line if you trace that line with your jigsaw very carefully. So let's get into that, I guess. All right, we're nearing the end. All we got left is the arms and the seat slats. And I'm going to do the seat slats. I'm going to do the seat slats first because it's just easier for me to do it that way. I guess I don't have a reason. I just prefer to do it that way. So let's get the seat slats done. All right, we do have to custom make the front and second slat, and that's just because the front slat needs to fit between the two arms. The plan doesn't account for that when you're doing your first round of cutting, and then the second slat needs to fit around the arms. It needs to fit between the arms near the front, and it needs to go around the arms near the rear of the piece, so we do have to kind of cut that out on the bandsaw. A jigsaw could also be used in this instance.
Chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild, never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Now you will see me use that back support alignment jig to space the first slat there, and then we'll move to our pre-made spacer jig there to space the slats out evenly so that it doesn't look like a kindergartner put this together.
We're gonna do it all again. Running wild, never sleep, never stop, as
All right, we're almost finished. Now all we got to do is the arms, and that requires us to put a little support piece on there to support the arms because they're wider than just a 1x4, obviously. So we're going to make that on the chop saw real quick, and then we're going to install the arms with a couple jigs. Jig 4301 is just a drill placement guide. 4363 is a placement guide to make sure to accurately get that armrest support in the right area for where those holes were pre-drilled, and to make sure it's actually in the center of the leg. Now we're going to set the arm on here, and now we've got to use this weird looking, I don't know, walrus looking thing. But this essentially will slide over everything and allow us to align everything the way we need it when we put the arm on there. The back of the arm will match up to the back edge of this. So it should be fairly simple to get this where we need it to be. So let's get that done. There you have it, guys. Some Adirondack chairs. I don't think they turned out too bad. There's always room for improvement, but for a budget line of Adirondack furniture, they're pretty good. So I think that's going to be about it for now. If you're interested in a set of these chairs and you're in our local area of Iowa, hit up our website and we can make you a set. Otherwise, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.